Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Hit the Pick radio show. I am not Loud Esmond. I am not Lou Desmond. I am Lou's fill-in host. My name is Scott of the Steamroller Steen, and we're going to talk a little football, maybe even sneak in a little basketball, maybe some World Series. I don't know. We got like 27 minutes, so we're going to grip it and rip it. I'm joined by a couple of very good friends of mine, two excellent handicappers, all the way from Philadelphia, PA. It is Tom Macrina. You may know him as Rye Cape. What's up, Tom?
Yeah, not much. Excited for this weekend. We have so many sports going on. It's going to be great.
It's that golden week, man. It's that golden time where we've got the World Series, the NBA, the NHL, college football, and oh yeah, professional football. So yeah, it's a great week. It's a great time to be alive. David Delano, is this better than Christmas?
I don't know. I think I'll take Christmas. I mean, right now we've got so much we were talking about off air. The NBA, we still don't know too much about it yet, even though I'm excited about it. College basketball is about to start, but we don't know too much about that either, if we're being honest, with the way that these teams change up. And
Yeah.
baseball's still here, but still one game to pick from. So I'll be honest, I probably shouldn't say this. Sometimes it could be a little overwhelming with all the games, how it keeps on moving, just
It's a
trying
lot. It's a
handle.
lot, brother. It really is, especially for old school guys like you and I who do this shit by hand. Uh, it's we're not putting them into some supercomputer and spitting out all the winners. Hopefully Ryan's got that 7 second delay working, by the way. I forgot we're on terrestrial, so apologies to everybody. Hope they don't get their license pulled. By the way, this is David Delano, the pride of Houston, Texas, by way of OHIO. Browns, not so much. Texans, they showed a little sign of life, and then the other night they said, "Nah, we're good." Uh,
Yeah, offensive line is man, when your players are delivering, it can really make the coach look like a genius or like an idiot. And they just kept trying to play smash mouth football. Man, how many times you see a team just try to run just basic run plays, just try to run power and ISOs on to get that 1 yard and just denied time after time. Couldn't even get half a yard in big
Man,
moments.
it is hard to watch Nick Chubb right now. He's just a shadow of his former self and the way he used to run the ball, and now he's not breaking
Yeah.
many tackles, not getting away from the pack at all. So yeah, we'll. I don't even know if we'll get to the. We'll see. We'll talk about tomorrow night's NFL game. We'll talk about a little bit about some of the favorites on the weekend. So let's get to it. For those of you that are listening live, we've got a terrific slate of action tonight in the NFL or excuse me, in the college football world from Conference USA, Middle Tennessee State and Delaware, and then if that doesn't get your juices flowing, an hour and a half later, it's Missouri State at New Mexico State. So. Again, we were talking about this off air. These are two games that probably, if they were just in the middle of a random Saturday, they wouldn't get 10% of the action that they're getting because they're the two standalone games tonight. Tom, do you have a play on this Middle Tennessee Delaware game? I know the line has gone down from Delaware -10 all the way to 8.5. Slight juice towards the 8.5. How are you doing? Did you beat the number? How do you see this game going?
Well, I'm right by Delaware, so yeah, I don't know. I feel like these teams are on even playing ground, but I think Delaware has a better offense. It's a lot of points, and even when the 10-10.5 is out, I lean to the Delaware side. I just think they could go longer than this Middle Tennessee State team can, especially offensively. I don't think Middle Tennessee could keep up with them. So I like
Yeah.
Delaware.
Okay. All right. Yeah, you're right. It's a lot of points to lay for a conference game, especially a conference game with a team that wasn't in the conference last year because they were in FCS. So, but the Blue Hens have acquitted themselves well so far, and this is a pretty bad Middle Tennessee State team. Dave, you got any action on this one?
I don't, and that's one of those things we talk about it being overwhelming. Sometimes you have to know when to pass. I know what conversation we were both having about this. Sometimes looking at where the where the money is and things like that. You made up a great point about just 10% of the action we would probably see if this was played on a Saturday. You mentioned with the home dog New Mexico State taking some money. I think a lot of times it's just as simple as there's not much to choose from. It's two games. You've got pretty much a pick 'em game. You could get a little bit of plus money on the money line, or for a home dog in a coin flip game. So sometimes it's who will take the getting plus money in a coin flip. Some teams we've talked about off air, like the MAC. I mean, I actually a little bit of a nerd about it and actually watch a lot of those teams. But some of these conferences, I don't really have a great feel about it. I have looked at some Missouri State, New Mexico State, and I don't really see enough of a difference to see it being more than a coin flip. And there's just way too much out there to bet on, way too much for the weekend. Hate to blow money throughout the week before we get to the NFL and Saturday on games like this. So that's just me personally. I just don't have a great feel on the games tonight.
Yeah, CUSA, not a great conference. The highest rated team in that conference is Louisiana Tech, and Danny Sagarin has them at 72. And he includes FCS teams as well. So, fun fact, even though there's just 136 FBS teams, Middle Tennessee State is rated 158th in the country. So there's a good number of FCS teams that are in front of the Blue Raiders as well. So they are just not a good football team. So, Tom, did you do anything with Missouri State? The thing I looked at in this, and I see it has gone Missouri State's way. Missouri State now laying 2.5. You can get plus 14 on that money line play if you waited this long, or you can take the 2.5 points. The only thing I looked at in this game that I really thought could be a determining factor is the travel from Missouri State. They're going to be playing at altitude down there in New Mexico. And Springfield, I don't know if you've ever been to Springfield, Missouri, not a lot of altitude there. So that could be a factor as well as the travel. Tom, any feel on this one?
Yeah, this is also on CBS Sports Network, so they're not going to get hyped up like if it was on an ESPN game. But same thing. I feel that these teams are even. I like how the line is. The thing with Missouri State is they don't play well on the road, while New Mexico State, as you said, they're a good home team. So that's why I'm back in New Mexico State.
Yeah, New Mexico State kind of found a running game. I did a video where I made fun of them because they ran for 2.3 yards per carry. It was like last in the country by so much it wasn't even funny. And then they immediately started running the football better, and they've run for 264 over their last two games. Not earth-shattering figures, but for a New Mexico State team that hadn't run for more than 40 yards against any FBS school, pretty impressive numbers. So we follow that up on Thursday with, what, let's go back to college if we have to. I got to have a palate cleanser here before we talk about South Alabama and Georgia State. Man, the hits just keep on coming. It makes you long for the MAC. Like, yeah, let's get the MACtion started here. I've had enough of CUSA for a while. All right, so we've got a good game on Thursday. Should be a lot of fun. Two teams that everybody had a lot more expectations of about a month ago. The Minnesota Vikings travel to La La Land to take on the Chargers. Chargers 3-point favorites. 44.5 is your number there. Mr. Delano, how are you seeing this game?
Yeah, I'm leaning on the Vikings in this spot. Chargers were a team that I was pretty high on, especially the way that they started the season. A little bit of a disappointment against the Colts, although, I mean, who knows? The Colts may be the best team. I don't think so, but they may be the best team in the AFC right now. But this Chargers team, especially on the defensive end, showing some issues. That I know Miami Dolphins the week before. Miami's a different team in Miami, but one of those games getting the 3.5 that I'm seeing in a lot of places. Minnesota, they've been able to battle even with Carson Wentz. So I just think, it's almost even like that Miami game, that the Chargers won by 2. 3.5. Do I really feel comfortable taking the Chargers in the spot to win by 4 or more? Vikings, they definitely showed some heart in battling there against the Eagles. Sometimes when it looks like they were, they were done, they hung around. So I like the Vikings in this game.
Okay. All right. Very good. Taking the points. I don't think that's a bad call at all. Tom, do you see it the same way?
Yeah, I think I do. The thing here, I guess, well, not when they were overseas, but their road games, the Vikings, they've actually been scoring points. I mean, even last week against the Eagles, if Carson Wentz doesn't throw all those interceptions, they're moving the ball down, they're scoring. Chargers defense, especially at home, has been pretty bad. They're giving up 28.3 points per game. Yeah, I think it's a lot of points.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I'm with you. And as we've talked about before on the show, there's no real home field advantage for most teams for Los Angeles, with most teams coming in as the visitors, because there's a lot of people that travel well. There's a lot of teams that travel well, and LA is a nice place to go. So if you want to have a vacation and see the game at the same time, it's a good location where you can do a lot of other things. So you get a lot of away fans that make that trip to LA. So it won't be probably 65-35, something like that. But there certainly will be a good contingent of Vikings fans there. Guys, I want to talk to you something real quick in the NFL before we move on here. As you gentlemen are no doubt aware, the team that is favored to win the Super Bowl right now is the 4-3 Kansas City Chiefs. If the playoffs started today, however, the Chiefs would not be in them. So let me ask you guys, have you ever seen a situation where after this many games, the favorite to win the Super Bowl was not currently in the playoff picture? Tom, what do you think?
No, but I guess it makes sense. There's no team that, especially from the AFC, that stands out as a dominant team like we've seen. We know Kansas City can do it. They do it all the time. So yeah, they should probably be. I don't know if they should be favorite, but right up there.
Okay. David, are your Kansas City Chiefs the best team in the NFL?
Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, you could say, the Lions in some ways have looked pretty good, but the Chiefs did handle them. So it's hard to not say that. And I agree with what Tom's saying. When you look at the standings, it almost sounds crazy, but who are supposed to be the biggest competition for the Chiefs this year? You're thinking, the Bills, who have shown some flaws, and the Ravens, who are not in the playoffs right now. They're more in contention for a top draft pick. So when you really look at it, I mean, in the AFC, we've got the Colts, the Patriots, and the Broncos at the top. So I guess it does make sense. And then, shortly behind that's the Steelers, and talked about the Bills, and a Chargers team that we've, just mentioned has some flaws there in Jacksonville. So, when you look at it above those teams, who can't the Kansas City Chiefs beat? So I've really haven't seen a situation like that before. But, the change around with the Colts leading the division, change around with the Patriots, and with the Baltimore Ravens being so bad, that has a lot to do with it too. And then Bengals too. I mean, Joe Burrow not, playing, the Bengals have struggled. So a lot of those suspects that we expected to be up there aren't.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Tom, let me ask you, I'll give you your choice here. We always like to look for bargains in the futures market, and today is no exception. Would you rather have the Ravens at 22 to 1, the Buccaneers or Seahawks at 25 to 1?
Oh my! Thing with the Ravens is they can't really lose too many games. I understand that they have a pretty easy schedule coming up, but 2 losses, 3 losses, I don't know that you're going to make the playoffs there. Tampa Bay, they should be winning their division. Who was the other one? The Seahawks.
Seahawks, yeah.
Yeah, so I think I'd rather have Tampa Bay out of all the three of those.
David, what's your pick there?
To go to the Super Bowl right now?
To win the Super Bowl, win it all. Those three teams: Bucks at 25 to 1, Seahawks at 25 to 1, Ravens at 22 to 1.
To win it out of those three teams, I'd have to take the Bucks too, just because they're in the best position. They're playing the Saints this week, so they should be 6-2 going into their bye. Yeah, I'll have to take this is one of those years though, how wide open, I mean, to see who should win the Super Bowl. Even with Green Bay leading the NFC, I think I felt a little bit better about the Packers before the season started. I know the record's good, but and they did get by the Cardinals, but at least on the road, Green Bay has not been overly impressive. So this is really one of those years if you especially if you can nail the exact outcome. I can't remember a year where there's so many different combinations of teams that could go to the Super Bowl. I mean, there's probably like 14 teams that could make it, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it's literally, about half the league, just like you said. I mean, you see teams like, the Rams, that wouldn't stun you if they made it to the Super Bowl. Even, the Panthers and the Bears are both over 500. Neither one of them are going to the Super Bowl, but it's weird. It's a weird season so far. All right, before we get to Sunday action, let's talk a little college football for tomorrow, and that's going to be the game that we talked about earlier. I can't bring myself to say it. University of South Alabama against Georgia State. Gentlemen, this is a dreadful Georgia State team. Tommy, you like the Panthers here? Is it South Alabama Panthers, right?
Yeah, Georgia State Panthers.
Georgia.
No,
What's
South Alabama. South Alabama is the Panthers.
South Alabama's the Jaguars.
The Jaguars. That's right. I got the wrong large cat. Yeah, Georgia State, definitely the Panthers. That one. Okay, Tom, what do you got here? 6.5 points. You got to lay it on the road. You laying it?
Probably not. I guess the worst thing about this Georgia State team is their defense. They give up like 41.1 points per game. So that's kind of brutal. They can't score either, but I think they're going to be able to run the ball. South Alabama, really all they have is a mobile quarterback. So I guess if they can figure out how to stop him, I think it's too many points at home. But I think both of these teams stink, and it's hard to take any of them. I looked at the over. But when you dig into the stats, you're like, how can I take an over with these teams?
Yeah, I get that. And you look at that. You look at their defense, and they're giving up that many points, and you go, well, they played Ole Miss, and Ole Miss put up 63, and Vandy put up 70, and Memphis put up 38. And you're like, okay, well, I guess that's all right. And then they play James Madison, give up 2 touchdowns. Like, wow, okay. But then they give up 41 to App State, 41 to Georgia Southern. So, yeah, I guess your defense really is dreadful. David, what do you got here?
Well, I definitely think South Alabama, despite the 1-6 records, are the better team. It's one of those random games I watched a little bit more of than expected when they played North Texas earlier this year because I had to play in that game. They lost by 14, but they hung around pretty competitive. I mean, you look at, they did a somewhat decent job against Auburn, took Troy to overtime, 1-point loss to Arkansas State. So I think that the better side is South Alabama. But even with that being said, the odds makers they agree that they're the better team. So then it comes into, do you want to lay 6.5 points on the road on a Thursday? You never know what could happen. They could be having too much fun in Atlanta. Right. Not a game that I want to put too much on them. I'm leaning on South Alabama. They are the better team, but it's 6.5. Not crazy about it.
Yeah, that's absolutely fair. All right, let's talk a little Saturday college football action. Yeah, we'll skip over. I don't know. Is there anything Friday worth talking about? Anything you guys want to talk about on Friday?
Well, I'll say Friday. I like North Texas. I'll keep it kind of short and sweet. I mean, they're 26-point favorite, 26.5. That's a lot of points, but I mean, Charlotte's down to their backup quarterback. They played 3 this year. North Texas, tough team. 6-1. They lead the nation in scoring. The biggest issue with them has been their rush, their defense against the run. But Charlotte's also one of the worst rushing teams offensively in the country. They just got beat by 35 points by Temple on their homecoming game. Yep. I think that North Texas is going to destroy them. So I like North Texas to come.
Yeah, North Texas puts up a ton of points against everybody. Well, even against South Florida, they put up a lot of points. They just
gave up
63. Yeah. Tommy, you got anything here?
I like the under in that game. I don't know how many Charlotte's going to score. But if they cover this 25.5, North Texas, what are they going to have to score? At least 20, yes? 25?
Well, let's see if it's the number's 60 and a half and 28 points, so it's 30 apiece, minus 12 and a half. So they're your over under for Charlotte's going to be somewhere in the neighborhood of 17 and a half.
Well, North
So,
Texas does average 45, so they could carry a lot of that.
Yeah, you're a brave man playing the under in this game, Tommy, just because North Texas, there's a world where I see North Texas hanging over 60 themselves. A couple of bad breaks, a block punt, something like that, and they could hang a 60 burger on this Charlotte team. So Godspeed, young man, Godspeed. Okay, so Mr. Delano, what on the Saturday card has you excited? This is the meat of the college football conference season now. A lot of games coming up. We got the Ole Miss Oklahoma game. That's a top 15 game. Memphis takes on South Florida. That should be fun. Memphis got the wake-up call last week, but still a very good and dangerous football team. And then, of course, the two surprise darlings of the SEC, my Missouri Tigers against the Vanderbilt Commodores. That is the number 15 Tigers against the number 10 Commodores. So any of those games excited you, or are you guys looking at something else?
Well, one I want to bring up because it's a big rivalry game, and it's a little sad. The Michigan State. Michigan State's one of those programs. A few times they've had some nice moments, but I just right now, I mean, Michigan has starting to put some things together. I know that they're going on the road. I know that it's a rivalry game. I know that it's 14.5, but I just don't. I think that Michigan is going to make a statement in this game. Aiden Childs, I know he's been banged up. I'm not sure if he's playing or not for Michigan State. I'm honestly not. Doesn't really matter to me too much because I just don't think he's a very good quarterback. So I think that Michigan's going to make a statement. I thought that number was a little light. Jonathan Smith came over from Oregon State, played at Oregon State, more of, that part of the country. I just don't think that he's a good fit for Michigan State. And I think that Michigan's going to win convincingly. So I like the Michigan Wolverines in this rivalry game to cover for the 14.5.
Laying a big number there. All right. Tom, I know you've got thoughts, but before we do that, let me have you check in on the Michigan game. Are you riding with David in this and laying those double-digit points?
probably, except Michigan State has burned me with the back door a few times. So, no.
Did you and I know we're pressed for time, but did you see how they covered against Indiana? They kicked the field goal in the final seconds to lose by they lost by 24 or 25 instead of 28.
Man, there's a couple times a year that kind of thing happens, and you're like, I'm sorry, what now? Really? Why are we kicking that field goal like that?
Jonathan Smith got
against USC, they threw a bomb for no reason. Backdoors.
Yep. What are you looking at for Saturday, Tom?
All right, couple quick hitters. Indiana, they're at home. They play UCLA. Spread is 25.5. I think they clobber this team. UCLA has been a team that they've been on a nice little roll. We know Cignetti likes to run up the score. I think they do that to make a statement here. I like Oklahoma. They're favorites. Ole Miss comes in. I just don't trust Lane Kiffin teams on the road. So I like Oklahoma there.
Okay, very nice. And yeah, I know we are. I know we are pressed for time here. Let me ask you guys a question. Why is this Wisconsin team so bad? What happened to Wisconsin? I mean, they went from a high average team, a good mid-tier bowl team pretty much every year to just absolutely dreadful in the blink of an eye. Dave, any theories?
I don't know, with Iowa, Wisconsin, Minnesota, it's almost like a certain style of play at those schools that you have to take on, and sometimes it can be a little bit conservative. I don't think Luke Fickell should have took that job. I mean, he had so much success on the staff at Ohio State, and he went to Cincinnati. And I think that Cincinnati long term, with the location, and now that they're a member of the Big 12, I think he could have had more success there, and
Right.
potentially the way it is now, winning the Big 12 and stay there. Because with Wisconsin, I just don't think that that's the right place, man. I mean, he's so used to recruiting those years at Ohio State and even Cincinnati, just not getting those same type of players at Wisconsin. But it is sad. I mean, you look at that 31.5 against Oregon, it's sad. And I would not I wouldn't play Wisconsin. I'm actually kicking myself. I wanted to play Ohio State last week, but the numbers seem so high. But Wisconsin just, I mean, they can't score. they can't score at all. And Oregon's one of those teams that, you know, they will embarrass you if they can. And I don't know what Wisconsin can do to stop them. So I wonder how long they'll go with Fickell there. That's a tough job. They've had guys, you know, back in the day that were really good fits, even going all the way back to the Barry Alvarez days. It just takes a certain type of person that really understands that you can't just take anybody from anywhere to fit in.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. Tom, any theories on why Wisconsin's so bad and if they'll be better anytime soon? Is Fickell the right guy for the job?
1 minute.
I agree with David. He shouldn't have took the job in the first place. I think the benefit of the Big Ten West helped them. So that's something that's changed. And they've always had a great power running back. Ron Dane, Jonathan Taylor. That's what they do, and defense. And they don't have that here. But I did take Wisconsin this week.
Very good. All right, guys, we are running up against it. David Delano, give me your favorite NFL play on Sunday. Go.
Man, I think the Baltimore Ravens, man, put belt to ass against the Chicago Bears. You got one team on a winning streak, one on a losing streak. There's a reason why. Ravens -6.5.
All right, very good. Tom?
I like the Houston Texans. You can take them on the money line. They're plus money now. This team either gets blown out or they have close games. I think San Francisco comes in a little high from their win last week, and Texans get them.
All right, very good. Hey, guys, thanks very much for joining us on Hit the Pick. Make sure you check us out next week when Lou will be back. Take care, everybody.